Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is late here. It's the 24th of July, 2025, which is early morning, so that'll be Thursday. And I'm Kenny Williamson, your host of Magic Today, the Magic News. Some of our performers, some not performers, some of our attendees at FISM are only getting back tonight due to cancelled flight to Frankfurt. So I'll be glad to hear they're back safely. And to all the winners and the performers and the two new Grand Prix winners, we'd like to wish you a great big fat congratulations. It takes a lot of work to perform at FISM and a lot of work to get your act together. So really well done. And thank you for providing the world with a show. And let's get on with the news. Well, for a start, the late Gloria Dea is hitting the news again. Vegas myths busted. The strip's first magician. And it's an article about John Calvert is thought to be the first magician to perform in the Vegas Strip. And then it says that honor actually belongs to Gloria Dea, who performed 2 shows on one night in May 1941 before vanishing from the magical limelight. Well, new stuff included in the article is okay, then she went to work as a dancer. And it says Calvert first performed his Magicorama show, in which he fired assistants from cannons and severed volunteers in half with a buzzsaw in the Roundup Room at El Rancho, Vegas in 1942. Then he took to the dunes in the 1950s and performed it for the final time in 2008, 5 years before his death at age 102 at Gary Darwin's Magic Club. But Gloria Dea beat Calvert to the strip. She she performed on May the 14th, 1941, also at the Roundup Room. She performed 2 shows consisting of sleight of hand illusions, including billiard ball manipulations and card tricks. And then it goes on to explain how she carried on dancing and then pursued a Hollywood career, landing roles in King of the Congo, 1952, and director Edward's Plan 9 from Outer Space, 1957. Then it goes on that she stayed in Vegas and she married her fourth husband, Sam Anzalone, a fellow car salesperson who died in 2022. And how her story was rediscovered from the article of clothing. And what was also new, which I didn't know, where is that? In 2022, Dea also received a key to the Las Vegas Strip. A year later, she was inducted into the UNLV College of Fine Arts Hall of Fame, but the latter honor was posthumous as she had died only 3 days earlier on March the 18th, 2023 of coronary artery disease. And she was inducted by David Copperfield. Anyway, that's interesting. So let's get on to the next article. Next up, we have how a physicist turned magician uses science to make magic unbelievable at the Edinburgh Fringe. And this is Kevin Quantam, who was a physicist and decided to rather go the magic route. And I'll just give you a little bit about it. It's basically you receive a card in the beginning, are you a believer or an unbeliever? And that's what unbelievable magic for non-believers is. A high voltage blend of science and illusion designed for the skeptical, the curious, the fiercely logical, and even the occasional believer. It's not about tricking you, it's about showing you just how fragile your understanding of reality might be and doing it with a smile. And here he says that he walked away from a PhD to become a magician. That decision raised a few eyebrows, some of them were his. But in truth, he didn't leave science behind. He found a new way to explore it on a stage with a live audience. And this is what the show will be. In the show, you'll see me harness over 1,000,000 volts of electricity, an invention by Nikola Tesla, powered by equations written by Edinburgh's own James Clerk Maxwell, to produce real impossible moments. And in the end, the night with magic that reportedly turned Einstein himself into a believer. So throughout the show, you'll be asked to choose, are you a believer or non-believer? You get a red card and a blue card, one for the skeptics and one for the faithful. Card stays with you until the end, when it becomes part of something much bigger, something you'll have to see to believe. So what a nice little article about his show. So that's at the Edinburgh Fringe. Then we have a magician, Josh Hodis, and he was performing at the red carpet on the UK premiere of Watch the Skies at Blue Water Showcase Cinema. That is him, Josh Hodis, looking dapper at a UK premiere of Watch the Skies. And basically, he performed, he did impromptu illusions before the screening began. And he was obviously then on the red carpet. And speaking after event, I love being part of moments like this where film, art, and performance all meet. The energy tonight was electric, and Watch the Skies definitely lived up to the hype. So, what an interesting gig for a magician. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Now, I haven't seen much on this since the event was held. Remember, I think it was the 9th of July, they held the Global Magicians Hall of Fame, the new um, through the Los Angeles Tribune, the new sort of awards ceremony that they were giving for magicians in service, done from the perspective of outsiders. And I looked after that for 2 or 3 days to see if there was any sort of news articles. I didn't see much, so I see there has been now another press release um, and there is a photo. Here's the photo. Let's just share that with you. So there's a lot of big names there. Um, how do I go back? Escape. And I'm not sure I'll obviously keep up as I see more and more happening. I will keep you informed. But the awards were given. Now I'm not going to read through the whole list. You can go to the link as per usual. All the links are in the description. But there were awards for Chris Angel got the GOAT Award, greatest of all time. Luna Shimada, the Adelaide Herman Award. Dorothy Dietrich, Vanish Magazine. Jen Kramer, Margaret Seal, Connie Boyd, Benjamin Barnes, Kyla Misty Knight, Kevin James, Lynette Chappell, Jack Hoffman. And those were awards. And presenters included Diana Zimmerman, Alicia Magnus, Louis Ava Manuel, Jason Antelek, Lance Burton, Nick Lewin, Bill Smith, Mike Hammer, Colin Cloud, Mike Michaels, The Conjurers, Matthew Pomeroy, and Natasha Lamb, Chris Angel, and Mo Rock. So, yeah, I'll keep you informed as we see how this goes along. You can still, there's a couple of videos on the actual post, on the press release, be further down. No, they're not on the press release. Where did I see the videos? Anyway, the press release will be in the description below. Now, here's something for those of you who perhaps want to do a little bit of investigation. Fu Manchu, the illusionist and magician who made history, has his exhibition since July in a museum in Buenos Aires. So if you're in Argentina, this is where you can go. From July the 19th, the Fernández Blanco Museum invites you to discover the secrets of one of the most fascinating illusionists of the 20th century. Now, I know there was a bit of controversy around the name. I know, I'm trying to remember. I know it was under Fu Chan, I think it was, in the US. Anyway, you can investigate because of copyright or something. But anyway, so as far as the article goes, do you know that one of the great icons of world magic lived and shone in Argentina? If the name of the magician Fu Manchu is familiar to you, you can't miss the exhibition of this Argentine and international magician, a reference of an era. Fu Manchu, a magician made history in Argentina, has his exhibition in museum in Buenos Aires. And there's little pictures. Immerse yourself in the universe of David Bamberg, the man behind the character of Fu Manchu, through selection of his original objects, costumes, illusionist apparatus, and theatrical scenery that marked his career. He's known as the magician who conquered Buenos Aires, born in England. It talks a bit about David Bamberg. I think his father also performed as Fu Manchu. Yeah, and the article gives you the place and the times, etc., that it's open. This must be general public $10,000. Must be it's Argentinian money, obviously. Okay, so let's move on to the next article. You can have a look. Then we have an announcement of a variety show featuring magicians, circus acts, Christmas music coming to downtown Omaha this holiday season. Omaha, that's where the magic house is. The Penn and Teller were involved with. Where I can't remember. It's the Omaha Magic Society, Omaha Magic Club. Anyway, this article is explaining that the Omaha Performing Arts announced a magical cirque Christmas is coming to Cape Town this holiday season. The variety show will feature magicians, circus acts, and Christmas music. The show has been performing since 2018 and has been featured on shows like AGT, America's Got Talent. Show is scheduled for December the 18th at the Orpheum Theatre. And the ticket sales can be bought already, and the link is in the article, which is in the description. Then an article which is actually quite a few about this because it concerns a celebrity. Fight Club, ring a bell. Brad Pitt. And he was taught card magic or card skills before this movie by Greg Chipman. That is a picture of Greg Chipman. Says he was nervous before meeting Pitt, who turned out to be really down to earth. And there's Brad Pitt, a magician who taught Brad Pitt how to perform card tricks for his latest movie role, said the actor was an ace when it came to one particular trick. Pitt is playing a fictional veteran driver and ex-gambler Sonny Hayes, returning to the grid after a long absence in F1 the movie. So his character had to appear an expert at handling playing cards, a skill Pitt perfected over several months with help from magician Greg Chipman from Doncaster. So there we go. Greg Chipman, congratulations on teaching Brad Pitt. And their article obviously goes on a little bit. With the one-hand deck cut, he was a natural, but throwing cards across the room into a bin, that took a bit longer. And I'm proud to say a magician that asked when he's going to be in the news. His name is Mr. Uncle Jack Black, a magician we've enjoyed through Children's Toughest Chapters. This is in goodthingguys.com. And that is Jack Black, not his real name. And it is about behind the infectious smiles of countless children and bringing light to the darkest days of young warriors stands Uncle Jack Black, a magician whose life story is as captivating as his tricks. And he's a friendly entertainer at children's events and the one who brings whimsical joy through the Reach for a Dream Foundation to young warriors facing their toughest health battles. So it gives a little bit about his story. Born in the DRC to a royal family, Uncle Jack Black. I didn't know he was a royal family. Interesting. Uncle Jack Black only arrived in South Africa in 2000. He settled in the southern part of Johannesburg after his family was devastated by war and lost everything except the magic skills he'd learned from his father. So there's a little article. There's obviously more about it. And his company, UBJ Community. So you can have a read on that. Well done, Jack Black. Then we have a little bit from CBS Pittsburgh. Here's a little bit on that.
Who it is? It's the one and only Leigh Terbosic.
Yeah, he leaves us wondering, how does he do that? And he's joining us now to give a sneak peek of the magic that audiences can expect at his residency this summer at Liberty Magic Theater in downtown Pittsburgh. We love that you have your show back.
Thank you very much. Always good to be back with you guys this morning. So I have some cool stuff to show you as always.
Well, tell us first about your show. So you started last week, and how long are you going to be at Liberty Magic for?
So we opened on last Thursday, and we've been packed every show so far. There was standing ovations, and my entire audience this weekend smelled like pickles.
Of course they did. Yeah, that makes total sense.
But I will be there till August 9th. So get tickets soon. They're going quick. They're vanishing fast. So, and I'm excited to be performing for my crowd.
So that is a show that's currently ongoing, and that is I think it's in Pittsburgh. You can see more below. And an article that came out before FISM, one Durham man's journey to the Olympics of Magic in Italy. In college, Michael Bloemeke decided he needed a thing and looked up how to shuffle a deck of cards. Now he's at the legendary international magic competition. And it is an article on Bloemeke. I hope I'm saying that correct. And yeah, it's quite interesting considering that he won I think it was the most original close-up act. So for his first FISM, Another clap in order. Well done. And the article is below, link below. And a shout out to the Irvington Theatre, which Abracadabra Irvington Theatre to host family-friendly Magic Fest with 2 unique shows on July the 26th, so there's still time. Irvington, New York, bring the whole family down to Irvington Theatre on Saturday, July the 26th for 2 fantastic magic shows in one unmissable day of mystical fun. The Irvington Theatre Magic Fest features acclaimed magicians and performers Zach Alexander and Melissa Leigh. Event kicks off at 3 p.m. with sword fighting tea party starring Melissa Leigh as Princess P. I hope that's how you say it, P. In a magical action-packed adventure. This interactive children's theatre show, ideal for kids 4 to 10, blends royal elegance with swashbuckling fun. And it goes on. And then at 6 p.m., Deviant Deceptionist is an interactive genre-bending magical experience starring Zach Alexander in a mix of sharp sleight of hand, psychological twists, and dry wit. So that is on July the 26th, New York. There's quite an interesting article in Museums and Heritage Advisor. How Casson Mann's Clowncil helped secure a Museum and Heritage Award. So, the designer used comedians and magicians as consultants to create award-winning Blackpool Museum that breaks conventional exhibition rules with bright colors and interactive elements. So basically, he was sitting with a room full of clowns, comedians, and magicians to discuss the inherent comedic value of large things made small and small things made large. And this is in Blackpool. And the designers were tasked with bottling the sense of fun and laughter that Blackpool was famous for, and draw in visitors who might not normally visit a museum, particularly in an area with so many other attractions to compete with. So, because it was a story of entertainment, we wanted it to be true to the story and tell it in an entertaining way. For instance, asking ourselves, what funny? What would make people press that button? So that's where they came up with the idea of behind the scenes. And basically, the museums said the project was full of fun, laughter, and a real celebration of local heritage. This winning exhibition is lively, engaging, and unapologetically fun. The museum equivalent of a thrilling arcade, capturing the heart of its location while giving visitors a fantastic, laughter-filled journey. So, items on display include the famous bowler hat worn by Stan Laurel, a prop used by the comedic magician Tommy Cooper, and various mementos from the Tower Circus. And the article is linked below. And there's more on the Edinburgh Fringe. And while I'm looking at this, I did read something that was in another review where they were talking about the commercialization of the Edinburgh Fringe. So I'd love to hear on somebody who's currently performing or in the last 2-3 years at the Edinburgh Fringe and see what they were talking about, the commercialization, taking away the risky acts and so on. Anyway, that's an aside. There is an article in the 3 to see magic in Edinburgh Fringe, and the 3 that they mention is, as you could probably guess from the title, the adults only magic show is on the riskier, raunchier, raucous end of the magic circle. Not that circles have ends, for they're round, silly. With again aiming to turn the genre on its head. Then you have mentioned the Magic Man. Tom Bolton unleashes the theatrical whirlwind, taking a journey back into the wonder of childhood. Expect Rubik's Cubes and even a spot of levitation. Then you have Andrew Frost, the greatest card magician in the world. It says, presumably he's talking about himself. Darren Brown and David Blaine are fans, so you probably should be too. And that is on 3 to see magic, and that is in list.co.uk. Then a magician that has made the Irish Mirror. That is a 28-year-old Dubliner, is a rising star in Ireland's small circle of magicians and mentalists. This video is taking forever to load, but he reads the mind of, and it's magician Con McCormack. And he reads the mind of the presenter. I'm just trying to see if there was anything else. If I could teach, this is Con McCormack. If I could teach a really skilled actor, if you said, here are 5 tricks and they weren't really slight, heavy tricks. There are certain sleights with cards that have taken me 10 years to do this. Some are really sore, but totally worth it. Being a confident performer is the biggest component of being a successful magician, and a nice article about him. If my computer would just speed up, we would actually see the video, but we're not going to have that today. For those of you who are also into archaeology, remains, also the Irish Mirror, remains of priest and magician for ancient Egyptian goddess found in an incredible burial tomb. So that's obviously in Egypt. And the tomb is adorned with stunning carvings and vibrant artwork, including a beautifully painted false door and scenes of funerary offerings. Now, where does it get to the part? The inscription within this remarkably well preserved tomb have shed light on this physician's life, revealing that he held a complete set of titles. Among these prestigious roles were chief doctor of the palace and priest and magician for the goddess Serket. So the link for that article is below. Then something, unfortunately, which hasn't really made me understand my own brain. An article, which is a reading article. Magicians have fascinated audiences, and that is in ASPM. News.aspm.orgs. How magic tricks can help understand how our brains work. Magicians have fascinated audiences for centuries. University of Arizona psychologist Eve Isham describes how magicians and illusionists use science to develop their effects and the connection with the inner workings of the mind. So those of you that don't know yourself or your brain, which would include me, can listen to that article. Link below. And we have another show coming up, Magic at the Biltmore with David Minkin. That is on July the 26th, 2025. Tickets are $55 to $250. That's a Biltmore Hotel, and that is in Los Angeles, 506 South Grand Avenue. Join David Minkin, international champion of magic, for an evening of world-class wonders at the Biltmore, Los Angeles. And it mentions what the show is about, and there are a few shows: July 26th, July the 27th, August 2nd, August 30th, September 6th, September 20th, and in October as well. Link below. There's a short film called Anomaly, which I'm not sure, I'll have to find out more about it, but this is a little bit of...
I'm Jenkins, and I'm the writer-director of Anomaly.
I'm Spencer Sherry. I'm the producer and editor of Anomaly.
Anomaly is a short film about a magic act that features an inexplicable trick that has attracted the attention of a government auditor.
It's about the love of magic when you're a child.
That's a little bit about it, and the link for that YouTube video is below, and then maybe somebody who's watched it or who can find out more, and I'll give them a little click, can tell us more about it, or maybe I can find it and watch it. So that's all for now, folks. I know that this is a long news. Just remember, we had FISM for the whole week. So yeah, I'm catching up a bit of news. So please just bear with me and enjoy the show. Put it on in the background. Then I see an article on Uri Geller in vocal.media, and it is proof: a man who bent metal with his mind, live on TV. And it's magicians try to debunk him, but no one could prove him wrong. So I don't actually agree with that at all, but that's by Jehanzeb Khan. I don't know how much he knows about Uri Geller, but anyway, the article is about what Uri Geller got up to, his rise to fame, tested by scientists, dice prediction and a psychic spy, CIA and the psychic spy, mystery to this day, and so on. But I can say one thing to you: if you go to x.com, Twitter, old Twitter, Uri Geller's on there. You can chat with him yourself. And we have an article in travelandtourworld.com. New York City, Las Vegas, Chicago, Los Angeles, and London spotlight family tourism with magic shows like Broadway's Magic Hour. Is magic the new cultural currency? No more. That is one heck of a headline. I really think we should have made that, whoever made that, shorter. Anyway, it's about magic as a live entertainment, and how different cities have different things going on. Like New York's magic scene is nascent. It's not the only one. Tourism has boomed around other cities thanks to similar productions, and mentions Las Vegas, Nevada, all the magicians performing there and so on. It's just an interesting post-pandemic tourism resurgence article. Yeah, making joy and belonging through wonder. It's an interesting little article. It's in the links below. Another magic show taking place, Broadway Comedy Club, and this is in New York, July the 27th, 2 p.m., $25. Broadway Magic Hour is New York City's favorite family magic show. Magicians Jim Vines, Penantella Fulas, and Carl Mercurio, Mohegan's Son, take the audience on a rollicking adventure featuring magic, mind reading, comedy, grand illusion, and lots of audience participation. And the ages are suitable for ages 6 to 106. Everyone has a great time and makes memories to last a lifetime. Show usually sells out, so order tickets ahead of time online. And you can do that with the ticket link is in the show mentioned below. Then India appears to be the first country that has celebrated, well, in my opinion, as per Google, the first country to celebrate one of their FISM winners. And who is Suhani Shah? Indian mentalist wins Best Magic Creator in Italy. So at FISM, and it's an article on her. I do have her on the site in the Magician's Directory. I had her before FISM. She's a mentalist, and it says she hails from a Mawari family in Udaipur, Rajasthan. Without any formal connections in the world of magical mentalism, her journey was anything but ordinary. So if you want to read more about her, the link to that article is below. She's very entertaining. I watched a few of her YouTube videos. Definitely worth a watch. In fact, go to the page on Magician's Directory, Female Magicians, on magiciansofmagic.com, and I've listed a few of her videos are there, and you will be laughing. An article in Lifestyle and Culture in montecitojournal.net, and it is about magician Gene Urban. And it's a very nice, interesting article on him. Talks a bit about Magic Castle joining them. And let's just see where it mentions where all he's performed. And I've lost my place. There we go. Urban began the journey he's still on to date. In other words, performing. To date, he has performed in China, Thailand, Bermuda, Ireland, Italy, England, Canada, Mexico. You get the idea. There have been lamplit soirees, gilded Biltmore functions, and Friday nights at Satellite in downtown Santa Barbara, where Urban can be found stupefying locals who thought they were only going out for a splash of Cabernet. So, interesting article on him. I'll have to put him up. I think some of these news sites are all using the exact same theme. As you can see, the article is no longer here if it's got advert blocking. So let me start this again, and I'll take you to a Microsoft Bing where it will show. So here I'm back, and the only reason I put this in because I haven't heard about them for a long time. The Naked Magicians, March the 5th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m. That gives them time to keep in shape. Naked Magicians is undoubtedly the world's funniest and naughtiest magic show, witnessed by over 50 million on TV, NBC, ABC, Fox, CBS, including America's Got Talent and Entertainment Tonight. It's the Aussie smash hit that's taken the world by storm. So that is in Fort Lauderdale, and you can book for that now, I would presume. And that's March the 5th, 2026. Then I'm seeing Presswire, which does press releases. It's called, their tag is Everyone's Internet News Presswire. I've seen them more and more. So there's a press release on magician and motivational speaker John Chipman joins Richard Kaufman on Vertical Momentum podcast. I haven't listened to this yet, but I will put the link for it below, and it is The Magic of Overcoming Diversity with John Chipman. And a little bit of his story. It's a rare opportunity to gain insights from Chipman's unconventional blend of performance and empowerment. He rose after brain surgery temporarily paralyzed his face. As a result, he has spent over 12 years leveraging close-up magic and storytelling to engage audiences worldwide, proving that being different is your superpower. He rose to prominence as both a magician and empowerment coach, delivering emotionally charged keynotes and spiritual resilience talks. and the link will be below, and you can have a listen. Then we have another magic show, Stars of Magic Show, on August the 16th. By the way, I would love some feedback on whether the magic news is of interest to anybody. I see the subscriber list does pick up, and I think when I do it shorter and smaller every day, it was doing much better. However, I view it as a link to Magicians of Magic because it gives the magic news. We'll start doing products, perhaps under another channel, but I'm already pressed. It's me running everything. And that is so on August the 16th, we're going back to the show, Stars of Magic Show, which is, oh my goodness, Saturday, August the 16th, 7 p.m., Temple of Music and Art. And that is in the Arizona Theater Company, Tucson's premier magic event that is family friendly and has something for everyone. August the 16th, Tucson, Arizona. Then we had an article on Bloemeke escape artist to challenge world record. This was on July the 22nd, so I don't know. Does anybody know if he managed to accomplish this? A Bloemeke man who calls himself an escape artist and freak magician sideshow artist will challenge a Guinness World Record and host his own show at the Winnipeg Fringe Theatre Festival. His real last name, Brent Audley, whose real last name is Hogan, was named as Winnipeg's #1 magician this year. He put his reputation on the line with his show, Houdini, the man, the myth, the legend. But he'll also be taking on the world record of most call bells rang with his forehead in 1 minute. And let's see, he was looking forward to breaking the existing record, which was 70 rings with a bell in 1 minute. And then a week and a half ago, someone else broke that record. So now I have to do more than 117. He's going to try for 126 rings in a minute, and that is part of the free show at the Cube in Winnipeg at 2:30 p.m. on July the 22nd. So it's happened, or it's happening, depending on the time change, the difference in time. And he's going to be performing his one-sheet show on which ends on July the 27th. So if you've been a part of it or seen it or anything along those lines, let us know, and we'll update the magic news on Magic Today by magiciansofmagic.com. And I've included this article because it's a feel-good article. The Magic and Dog Show at Magic Dove Magic Shop in Cocoa Village. And there we have Happy Dog Macro and owner Marmarella Jones, Lynn Marmarella Jones, all together on stage after Macro won first place for dog tricks at the 4th annual Magic and Dog Show at Magic Dove. And here we have magician Megan the Marvelous at the Magic and Dog Show at Magic Dove Magic Shop in Cocoa Village, which was sold out. Megan began the show at age 13. The event raised over $1,760 for Lowrider Dachshund Rescue. And we have some more pictures of Lucy Lulu, the Dachshund, who performs with Megan. There's Lucy Lulu, very cute. And there we have Finley, who was one of several young magicians who performed on stage. And what else do we have? That reminds me of another dog. Yeah, okay. I won't mention that right now. And a few more pictures. And yeah. Anyway, great thing. Anybody else who rescues dogs gets great kudos from me. And we have a last show mentioned for today, Spellbinder Magic Show at the historic Brooks Theatre. That is on Friday, August the 1st, 2025. We are in 2025, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Get ready for an unforgettable night of magic at the Brooks Theatre. World-traveled illusionist Mark Pascal, a professional with over 20 years of experience performing everywhere from Las Vegas to China, is bringing his one-of-a-kind show to Oceanside for one night only, and that is in Oceanside, California. Zip code 92054. Who remembers zip codes? Remind me, the name's skipping me. Then, unfortunately, I have to end off once again with an obituary. and I had to find us in a different place. Arthur Coughlin, Master of Illusion, Maker of Magic. There's his picture, and if you recognize his face, you'll know that he is the father of Helen Coughlin, who fooled Penn and Teller, I think it was 5 or 6 times. I think she holds a record, and obviously with help from her dad. And it's a great little mention of what he did. He would go on to perform death performance, define stunts across the country, and all of the things that he got up to. And then the final curtain obviously mentions her. Although he formally retired decades ago, Arthur truly never left the world of performance. Even in his later years, he would occasionally return to the limelight, appearing on television and performing for charity. His energy remained magnetic, his timing sharp, and his commitment to the craft unwavering. And he passed away on, I think it was the 25th, I'm going to tell you right now, passed away in July 2025, aged 93. So our condolences to Helen Coughlin and the family and all the friends. And folks, I do apologize for the length of this magic today, but we did have, as I said, quite a few days to catch up. And once again, all the best to the FISM winners and performers, and to the rest of you, have a lovely rest of the week. If you have anything you want to contact me about, you can either WhatsApp me or you can use Kenny at magiciansandmagic.com. Goodbye for now.